aka the Oracle of Illadelphi, and I am coming to you with a pick a card reading. I was checking to see what that was in the background, and it's just my book bag over there. It's just like a jar. Anyway, we are stepping into this Taurus season, this super new moon energy, and I don't know about y'all, but I'm personally excited. It might be my own particular Taurus moon that has me charged up and resonating with this more so than usual, but I think that that just provides us an opportunity to really see how these energies are managing. So we're going to go ahead and cleanse our energy space with our little Sagiana, even though it be getting our workspace all smushy with its assorted debris, but cleanse the energy space, and we're grateful for it. Yes. How's everyone been doing? I hope everybody's having as happy of a Monday as possible within a capitalistic society. I will say that. I hope that the start of the work week has been as kind to you as possible. I hope, may your workload be light. May your lunch breaks be long. May your days end early. Like, you know what I'm saying? That's what I wish for everyone who is still in the position of having to work a job that they do not like. Now, if you love your job, then look, get it. Go at it. I'm not against jobs in general. I'm just against people being forced to do things that don't make their soul sing, because life is too short and too long for that. But we're going to go ahead and cleanse this energy. That was a particularly loud one. Apparently, we needed that today. Hold on, wait, let me adjust these so that we can get them more in viewski. All right. So, to start off, we are going to tap into the Animal Spirit Oracle deck, because that is one of my favorite ways to receive messages from the universe, and not just through Oracle cards. And I would like to share this with you guys. You can be on the lookout for animal omens even in your own everyday life. There is a certain science that says that, the universe is always trying to communicate with us, and it will use whatever methods it has available. So if you are a person who has a particular affinity for nature, or are always actually noticing the world and the animals around you, then there are messages hidden within, animal omens. There have been, in times throughout history, people have used those signals as ways to communicate and so forth. So, simple one, dogs barking, crows cawing, a little bit of caution advised, not necessarily like danger, Will Robinson. But that would also depend upon the intensity of something. Like if you're about to walk into a place and you hear a whole bunch of crows cawing, like there's a reason that like in scary movies, when they're trying to like set up an atmosphere where it's like ominous, that's one of the things that they use, because ancestrally, there's something that says there's a reason that a group of crows is called a murder. Like none of these things are coincidence. It's just a matter of how they come together in a line. So without further ado, we are going to take our mini message from our spirit animal oracle. But yeah, be on the lookout for, and you can always do a quick Google search. There are tons of researches. There's tons of resources in terms of information about historically and even across cultures. Like, what does this particular bird mean to Celtic culture? And what does this particular bird mean to Egyptian culture? And what does this particular bird mean to, Christianity? So there's a little bit of something out there for everyone. It's not like it necessarily has to be a particular spiritual system. That's the thing about nature. It is universal across mediums. Everybody has access to nature. So it's one of the best ways that the Most High can use to communicate with us, because outside of the artificial 3D reality that we have built, we are supposed to be constantly interacting with nature. So Let's go ahead without further ado. Animal Spirit Oracle to guide us for this week is Bat Spirit. A rebirth is assured. Now, y'all, this is why I live shuffle, because I understand that people have a healthy dose of skepticism when it comes to like readings and things, because we have been taught to think that so much is coincidence. But how big of a coincidence is it that you guys just saw me sit here and shuffle, and I am like it? You guys just saw me sit here and shuffle, and a rebirth is assured when we're talking about navigating not only new beginnings for this Taurus new moon, but just new beginnings in our lives in general. This is one thing that is always assured. Change is gonna come. Like, change happens without our consent. Like, the seasons will change, people and places change. Life moves forward constantly. And so you have the power to either move with it, move with the energy of the times and the frequencies of reality and attune higher as, you know, we are spiraling upward, or you could stay the same. You could stay the same. It'll still count as a rebirth, but it'll just be rebirthing you back into the same cycle. So either way, rebirth is assured, but it's just about, are you going to be rebirthed into the same cycle and have to reface the same lessons? Or are you going to go to a higher octave and maybe have to face, you know, a little bit of different lessons? Also, bats, now that we are past the written message, we're going to go and get into the intuitive message. Bats use echolocation. They use vibration to navigate. So as we are understanding that rebirth is assured, we are supposed to be using our vibration, or the things that we hear, both, you know, like in here, in terms of like the outside world. We always want to be mindful of listening to people, because people will tell on themselves. All you have to do is listen. All you have to do is listen. But also your environment will give you warnings. Like, people always be like, you didn't see that car. My thing is, you didn't hear that car. You didn't hear it. Cars are loud. Like, people just be stepping out into the street like they didn't hear traffic coming. Like, when a car is coming towards you, it sounds a certain way. So being tapped in and tuned into your environment and being adept is also what assists us to step into these rebirth cycles. What else was I going to say about bats? Echolocation, using sound. Oh, I was going to say, in terms of sound, it's also about using your internal guidance, listening to yourself, listening to the little voice within, listening to your intuition. Also listening, if you are a person who is a clairaudient or claircognizant, listening to your higher self, your ancestors, your spirit guides, the Most High, whoever you are seeking to tap into. That is the best way to navigate the spirit of rebirth. Also, bats exist in caves. So there are periods of darkness associated with rebirth. Bats are a nocturnal creature. So as we are dealing with the dark, and as we are immersed in the dark, it can be difficult to see the next step. It can be difficult to know which way to go, which is why it's so necessary for us to use our senses. And as we are coming into Taurus season, which rules sensuality within Libra energy, it is important that we are using our senses to navigate our environment, and using all of them. If something don't feel right, listen to that. It can save your life. I know we've all heard those stories about, like, oh yeah, you know, such and such I know worked in the Twin Towers, but something just on September 11th, something just told them not to go in that day, or they just ended up late. And, you know, I'm sure more people than those got those intuitive hits. But the thing is, we have been so conditioned to think of 3D reality first that we will be like, well, I'm scared to lose my job, so let me rush and, you know, break my neck to be there. And now not only do you not have a job, but you don't have a life. So priorities. Also, as we are navigating the dark, it can be difficult to persevere through that, and to even believe that there is a light on the other side of that. You know, when you are only know darkness, it is the concept of light doesn't even compute to you. So that's why the card says a rebirth is assured, because even within the midst of that darkness, trust that you won't come out the other side. Now, how you come out the other side depends on how well you navigate. If you are using all your senses effectively, then you can come out unscathed, unbumped, unbruised, unscraped, or even with maybe just a little dirt on your shoulder that you got to brush off, but no major wear and tear, no major, maladies for the option. And also, but if you don't use your senses, you're not navigating properly, it can be very easy to constantly be tripping over obstacles that you could have easily navigated if you had just listened. If you had just listened, and not even to, I'm not even saying listening to people like me on the internet. I do these because my number one goal is to get you guys to begin listening to yourself and understand that the universe is always trying to communicate to you. I am sometimes just a last ditch effort, because if you're not listening through more esoteric, mysterious ways, then the universe will get down and communicate with you on a very 3D level. When you just run into somebody and they tell you exactly what you needed to hear, or they say something and it oddly resonates because it's the exact same thing that somebody just told you 5 minutes ago. Like, none of that is coincidence, my guy. Like, all of that is the universe's workings. And we have been taught to think that those are just happenstance, to keep us blind to the brilliance and intricacy of the design. But the design is brilliant, and the design is intricate. And the design is always trying to find ways to help you be what you want to be, to live your purpose. So I'm very pleased with that. That was a good read. Also, oh my gosh, I didn't even notice the number 5, which, if you know anything about numerology, is the energy of change. 5, bro, energy of change. Like, I love doing these type of readings because it can be discouraging when so much of the world is trying to tell you that spirituality isn't real, that deeper understanding of the things that go on around us isn't real. It can be very discouraging. But when you have this level of synchronicity, because coincidence is only 2 things that happen. So we're past coincidence. We're at like multi-stage alignment, which brings this past coincidence into synchronicity. That's why, it's like 3rd time's the charm. Yeah. So if it happens twice, then, but if it happens 3 times, that is a, so 5, the energy of change. It's the energy of change. So yeah, a change gonna come. Oh yes, it will. Like, it is inevitable. Like, nothing lasts forever. Nothing stays the same. Even the coastlines, even the heights of mountains. So understand that change is probably the only constant in this space-time continuum, because a lot of the things we think of as timeless are only timeless to us because of our limited human scope and perspective. So Most High, as we get into, okay, something else apparently on this card that wants to come through. I keep trying to be done with this card, and they're like, you are rushing it, baby. Let it simmer. And maybe that's a message there as well. Not be so quick to want to come out of the darkness, to maybe honor the time spent in our cocoon. I know everybody always wants to be the butterfly, but there's something to be said for honoring the time spent in communion with yourself that brings you into that higher alignment. It's the things that you learn in that dark night of the soul, in that internal darkness as you navigate your way to light and healing. The things that you learn on that journey are so imperative. So as much as we could want to rush through things because everybody wants to get to the destination, but there's something to be said for the journey. Also, we have got orange and green here, so it's giving sacral chakra, it's giving root chakra, it is giving healed. Your sacral chakra is the source of your creative energy, and that's creative energy in terms of anything that you create, an idea, it's the seat of your sexual energy. And if that is out of whack and out of balance and undisciplined, your life will tend to be chaotic because you will be creating things unintentionally. And that also ties into your heart chakra, because if your heart chakra is unhealed, then whatever you are creating is going to be slanted. It's like if you shine a light through a prism, it's going to bend. So essentially, when your heart isn't pure, when your heart isn't a pure filter, when it has fragments, when it has facets within it, it's like if you shine a light on a diamond and all the rays go that way. When you are faceted within your heart center, what happens is everything that you create comes out bent. Try to play straight, but your whole style bent. Consequences, no coincidence. So understand that time is to be cherished and to be honored, because it is sacred to sit with yourself and to offer yourself healing. Because we always expect the world and outside forces and other people and places and spaces to make time and hold space for us. But that starts with us doing that for us first. You have to sit with your inner child, and heal the things that people never apologized for, that they don't even have the awareness to understand was harmful to you. And that's why they say forgiveness is not for the other people, because most times they don't even feel bad. Not even most times do they not even feel bad. Most times they're not even aware of the harm that they caused. But no, what forgiveness does is it allows you to let go of the energy of still being attached to that wound, and to allow you to say, hey, I see that wound. I acknowledge that it happened, but I understand that person was only doing what they are capable of doing. And if it's bad enough, then the choice is just to remove that person from your life. And if it can be healed, then that's also the case of restitution. But it does come down to that. Okay, so we're going to go ahead now and get into the Moonology deck. So Most High, ancestors, angels, even though we are in this Taurus new moon, what other moon phase energy might be able to help us navigate this time and get optimum results? First quarter moon in Scorpio, release your blocks. I need like an ironic music button. Like I need like you know how like on radio shows, they be having like they be having like sound effects that they can cue up with stuff. I need sound effects to cue up, because I was just talking about blocked heart chakras, about fragmented, faceted heart chakras, and how that can interfere with your sacral, how that can interfere with your creations. And I said, okay, well, we know that we're trying to get to a new beginning, but what other energies could we utilize to best get there? And release your blockages comes out. And what is the overall color? What are the two most prominent colors on this card? Green here and here, and then that wave of orange. Also, we have someone here doing a yoga pose. So we're going to get into a couple of things. First off, let's get into the yoga pose first. Moving your body is an excellent way to release energetic blockages. Moving your body is an excellent way to release energetic blockages because your body, a lot of times, blockages are caused by stagnant energy. They are caused by a lack of movement. And there are certain systems within our body that are also get clogged like that. Like your lymphatic system doesn't have a natural drainage pump. So unless you are doing a certain amount of activity, your lymph nodes won't even be draining properly. So if that is a very biological way that we can notice that like moving helps get things moving, then we can translate that, we can extrapolate that to understand that our bodies are also always trying to communicate to us, and they're usually trying to communicate to us deeper things going on within us. So a lot of times, even things like aches and pains and lower back problems and stuff like that, like a lot of times, yes, it's physical, but it's also mental. It's also the mental stress causing it to be exacerbated. Like, you know how if you are focusing on something that hurts, it makes it feel like it hurts more. Whereas if you're distracted and you've got other things going on, you might not even notice the pain. So that is a very real example about how our minds can exacerbate even things such as physical symptoms in order to be like, hey, no, I know that your back hurts, but your back hurts because you're literally bending over backwards for people. You're literally doing too much for people. And it's like you're overworking yourself, and that's like the physical cause. But the spiritual cause of you overworking yourself is you fearing that there's not enough, you feeling like you have to take all of the weight onto your own shoulders. So everything is everything. Everything is just one thing. It's just multiple ways to get the information and intuit it. So yoga is an excellent movement practice as far as clearing blockages. There are different poses that you can do as far as different to target different areas of your body. Mudras are also an excellent way. Actually, mudras are one of my favorite, most instantaneous ways, probably outside of like EFT, tapping, emotional freedom technique. Mudras are an excellent way to get energy moving. I'll show you one right now, and it's actually the perfect one for this because the card says release blocks. I'm going to go ahead and show you the mudra to release blockages. And if anybody doesn't know, mudras often go along with yoga. They can be used in tandem or independently of each other, but they are essentially hand positions and breathing techniques that are usually associated with them that produce certain effects within the body. Like, you know how you always see people holding their hands like this when they're meditating, and they're all like, because this particular pose increases concentration. So the mudra for clearing blockages is you want to take your left hand, face it palm down, and this is associated with Ganesh, who is the energy of removing blockages within the Hindu pantheon. So left hand down like this, right hand up like this, and you want to squeeze them together. Take a deep inhalation, and as you are exhaling, you want to concentrate on what it is you want to release. And this works on physical things. Like I have had like I don't know. I've had times where, like, you know, I was a little bit backed up, not to be too TMI, but a little bit backed up, and so as you are exhaling and you are focusing on the blockage that you want to clear, you're going to gently pull your hands apart as you exhale. And then as you inhale, you want to release that tension and just let them be neutral. And you want to exhale and gently pull. And you can do it as many times as you like, but the only caveat is that you have to make sure how many times you do in this direction. You have to flip and do in the opposite direction. So just now we just did 2 in that direction. So inhale, 1, inhale, 2. So that is a quick mudra. I cannot think of the proper name for it right now, and that's on me. I will do better in terms of my study, but quick Google search on mudras, and those are an excellent way to release energetic blockages. I also mentioned emotional freedom technique. Tapping is EFT tapping. It's a combination of acupuncture. So it works with certain pressure points within the body that, you know, for thousands of years, people have been using to alleviate certain symptoms, but it also takes into account cognitive therapy, and it allows you to focus your brain specifically on, instead of just general, I'm going to press here and whatever needs to be cleared. Like I'm going to press here and intend for this specific thing to be cleansed. First quarter moon in Scorpio. Scorpio is the Tower card within tarot. And the Tower card is all about change. The Tower card is all about things coming down. Things coming down. But usually the things that are coming down, even though we may not see it, are the things that are blocking us. So that's why Tower moments, for better or for worse, always usually lead to new beginnings, because nature abhors a vacuum. So when you release those blockages, when a Tower moment tears down these relationships that are not serving you, or when these Tower moments take you out of an environment that is not conducive to your growth, and in our limited human understanding, we are sitting here lamenting because we don't have the foresight to be able to see that in 6 months, this will be the best thing that ever happened to us. And that's why hindsight is 2020. But that's okay. That's okay. That's okay. That's totally fine. Also, this person is outside doing this. So getting out in nature is also an excellent way to release blockages. Grounding is an excellent way to release energetic blockages and just built up negative energy in your system. You can ground anywhere there is exposed soil. The earth is happy to take that energy from you. It is happy to take that energy from you. Mother Earth loves you, and all she wants is you to be well and live in harmony with her and the rest of her creations. That's all she wants. So if she got to take some negative energy off of you in order for you to go out and be the best self, she will do that. She will do that. She will do that gladly. Now, if you're going to be touching trees and trying to ground on trees, I would say ask trees for their consent, because you don't know what that tree has been through. You don't know what that tree has been through. You don't know what the energy that it is transmuting from the area is. So you want to ask the tree for its consent before you ground on it. Like, hey, if it gives a little gentle rustle of its leaves, it's like, okay, I'll take that as a yes. But nature is one of the most healing things. Like, I know I saw a post recently that was like, oh, a lot of these new age wellness things that people are like saying are just like literally the ways that our ancestors used to live. It's just like things that people used to do on a daily basis. And now we have to go to specific places to hike and to be in nature and to be able to, breathe in the deep air of a forest and, sit with the rustling of the plains grasses. But there was a point in time where that was like everyday life for us, which is why it's so soothing. I saw a thing recently about how like bird song literally somatically like lowers your blood pressure. The same thing is like when a cat sits on you and purrs. Like, nature is beautiful and wonderful and is meant to work in harmony and in tandem with us. And a lot of the blockages that we have around nature is built on capitalism and people who hate Earth. And they hate Earth because they're constantly trying to destroy it. Those are how like Malcolm X has this quote that's like, who told you to hate your hair? Who told you to hate yourself? Who told you to hate nature? Who told you that nature wasn't your friend? Who told you that nature was always trying to destroy you? Because last time I checked, nature feeds us abundantly. Without nature, this planet, like, as much as people want to be like, oh, humans are so advanced in like science and technology, and like, y'all can't make water. Even though y'all know y'all know the atoms that go into it, y'all can't artificially create water. So that is why a lot of these blockages against the natural world are conditioned thinking, are just things that we've seen in movies, or not understanding nature cycles and thinking that this particular, like, you see a wildfire and you're like, oh no, like there's a beautiful episode of Avatar, the Last Airbender, about this, and it essentially angles, you know, to this place, and the Fire Nation in their drawing this destroyed a forest. And this is even worse than a forest fire because it wasn't even naturally destroyed. It was like man-made destroyed. But this is the thing. Nature going to find a way. Nature's going to find a way. Nature is going to make a way with no way. And that is an excellent inspiration for how to remove blockages, because nature is adept at removing blockages. Specifically, water will erode anything in its path. Fire is good at, like, every energy is adept at removing blockages. It's just in its own way. And so I would say find the way that is best for you to release blockages. I know some people who, when they are trying to get things out of their life, they'll write it down and they'll light it on fire and release it to the universe in terms of embers. There are people who go to the water and release their things. There are people who use the earth to ground. There are people who use tons of different methods. There are a myriad ways out here to heal yourself, to get into these spaces. There's not only one way. There are multiple ways. There are an infinite amount of channels and ways that you can come into connection with yourself. And healing with yourself is just a matter of which works best for you. Since maybe you're not a yoga person. Maybe you prefer to go to the gym. Either way, that can be a meditative time. That can be a time when you are completely present in the moment, which is something that we don't often do. And a lot of our blockages come from being too far ahead or being too far in the past, either worrying that a cycle is going to repeat or worrying about the unknownness of the future. But when you are in the present, it allows you to deal with anything that comes up in real time and then move past it. A lot of times us not being present is what creates these stop gaps where we have to go back and release a blockage because we weren't present when it was happening. So we weren't adequately able to process it. So now it gets formed into a blockage. And now we're just like, wait, did that piss me off? I wasn't really paying attention in real time. But now that I'm sitting back and ruminating over this interaction, was they being shady? Was that shade? And so that's what's born of not being in the present. You have to be present in order to make the most of the changes and even see where the blockages are to be able to remove them. When you have to be present in order to realize that you're being triggered. Because if you're not present, you can mistake you being triggered as the other person doing something. And it's like, do I feel some type of way because this is actually malicious? Or do I feel some type of way because this reminds me of the way that people have always treated me my whole life, and I'm going to respond to this one instance like it's with the energy associated with all of these instances because I never got to express it there. I never got to tell my 4th grade math teacher that, like, I was going to be somebody. So now when you tell me you want to be somebody, I'm not going to be somebody. Not only am I talking to you, but I'm talking to that 4th grade math teacher. I'm talking to every person who never believed in me. And this is what happens when we do not heal. This is what happens when we do not release those blockages. It can allow us to tint situations and perceive them in ways that are not true. And the goal is always truth, because truth is the only thing that can lead to harmony. I think we're good on that one. Okay. So next we have the Witch's Wisdom deck. Trying to think of what question I want to ask this deck. Witch's Wisdom deck. What divine feminine ancestral guidance do you have for us as we step into this change? And what area should we focus on for this change primarily? Whoa. All right. Witch's hat. Power. Power. So, what are the ways in which these blockages are disempowering us? What are these ways that these blockages are disempowering us? So let's start with these colors here, because that's what I'm being called to. So we have the overall green, which we noted was heart chakra. Then we also have this solar plexus, and then this little bitty bit of red orange here. So it speaks to the source of our power and how it rises upwards through the chakras. And even on the edges here, we have like kind of like a full rainbow effect, because we got like a little blue indigo there and then like a little purple around the outside. So you cannot manifest your full power with a clog in the system. Let's go. Let's go. You cannot manifest your full power with a clog in the system. If you have a car, right? You have a car, right? And you trying to get the maximum horsepower out of your car, you need to make sure that you clean, that you change your engine, that you change your oil in your engine regularly, because otherwise grit and debris will start to build up and it'll start to clog the pistons, and then they won't be able to fire as fast. And then your car will start to be sluggish, even if it's nothing wrong with it mechanically. I'm just let that. Thank you. I've been sitting with this Oracle deck because this is a new one, and it's very intuitive, and it requires me to tap into a part of myself that a lot of these other decks don't. It's very deep. So that's a deep message. You cannot show up fully in the world without all of your chakras being in alignment, without all of your energy centers being balanced. Let's go back to the avatar. Remember when Aang had to go to the guru in order, because he couldn't tap into the avatar state anymore, and he needed that. And the guru was like, you've got blockages in all of your energy fields. And in order for you to connect with the pure consciousness of the cosmos, with all of your former incarnations, and gain all of the wisdom and power associated with them, you have to have a clear channel. And his channel was not clear. And that's why he couldn't get into the avatar state. So we can't be the best of ourselves a lot of times, because we still have wounding in our root chakra around security and around the ways that we weren't taken care of, or we have wounding in our sacral chakra about the ways that people didn't honor our creations, or the ways that people dismissed our feelings. Then we have blockages in the solar plexus chakra, associated with all the times that people tried to tell you who you was, like you don't know who you are, and when people project things onto you. And then you have all of the trauma from your heart chakra, from all of the times that people were unkind, and all of the times that you felt unloved Then you have your throat chakra, which goes into all of the times that you felt unheard, where you said You spoke your truth to people when they didn't acknowledge it. And then you go into your third eye. And it's all of the times that you didn't trust your own intuition, that you knew what you were supposed to do and you didn't do it. And so you have blockages there because all of the other blockages and all of the other people causing distrust, you start to believe all of the people not giving you security. And then all of the people telling you that what you do isn't good enough. And then all of the people telling you that who you are isn't good enough. And all the people who tell you that what you feel is wrong, then all the people who tell you what you say is wrong, you get into the point where you don't even trust yourself. You get to the third eye point where you don't even trust yourself. So how can you connect with anything higher than you when you don't even trust you? How can you truly connect with anything outside of yourself when you don't even trust you? How can you expect anybody else to trust you? How can you expect anybody else to believe you? Everything starts within. Everything starts with that man in the mirror. And the greatest block and the greatest thing that has been holding us back against our power is allowing the outside world to contaminate us. And a lot of times it's not our fault. We all come to this planet as sweet, innocent, brilliant, starseed beings. There are no evil babies. There are no evil babies. So in a world where there are no evil babies, something happens in the process of them interacting with humans in the society that we've set up that can freaking break them. Something happens. And it is not fair, and it is not fun, and it is not cool, but it is imperative upon each and every individual soul to shake that load off, to shake it off, because the loving ain't the same, and they keep on playing games like they know you here to stay. So you have to shake that off. Environments that keep on playing games like they know you here to stay, like, oh, you need this job, and you can step out on faith. Step out on faith. Just try it. Just try it once. Just try it once. And I mean, try it once, fully believing that it's possible. Because it's one thing to try, but if you in the back of your mind, like, I'm trying, but I know this ain't going to work. That doesn't count. That doesn't count. That's not a true effort. It's not a true effort. That's not you actually, because that's not you putting your full power behind it. That's not you putting the full force of your being behind it. The people who get things done in this reality are the ones who give their all. You know how you be like, oh, you know when you see freaking Michael Jackson perform? I'll be watching certain people perform and I'll be like, so you gonna go backstage and take 4 naps? Because I'm tired just watching you give out this level of energy. When the best basketball players, the best athletes, the best computer programmers, the best anything are the ones who put their heart, their mind, their body, and their soul into the things that they are passionate about. The people who have the best families are people who put their heart, their mind, their body, and their souls into make sure that their families are healthy. Because health is the true wealth. And that goes across mediums and across environments. Most people don't leave jobs because the actual work of the job is hard. Most people leave jobs because the manager's a jerk, because it's an unhealthy, toxic environment. So if the goal should always be, okay, I just got distracted because this just gave me a new message. Another thing about power is the ways that we give our power away by allowing people to have access to us who do not have our highest and greatest good in mind. People think I wear a lot of things. I wear this hat. Every time y'all see me, y'all probably see me with this hat, especially if I'm live. Maybe in a picture, you might see me without it, depending on where I am environmentally. But you always see me with this hat or my other hat. This is the blue one. You can tell it's the blue one because it has the brown stripe. And it also has the blue jay feather. And I think this is like a dove feather. There are also feathers that actually come to me. I don't go and buy feathers to put in my hat or, no, this is all like I was walking, I was leaping along, and the universe was like, here's a feather for your hat. So I do this not for fashion. I don't wear this big, humongous chunk of labradorite for fashion. I mean, it is fire when it catches the light and the, don't get me wrong. It is a good look, but this is spiritual protection because my power is very powerful. So I can't just be walking. Why do you think every spiritual system has something to do with head covering? Like, most of the Abrahamic religions, you are supposed to cover your head. Even within Hinduism, there are certain things about covering your head. Certain points of spiritual awakening and ascension require you to either not cut your hair or to cut your hair. There is so much associated with your crown chakra and also your antennae. There's so much associated with your crown chakra. So you want to make sure that you are cleansing it regularly, because this world is polluted with negative thoughts. Every time you go on a social media, even if you have your timeline curated, somebody could be having a bad day and now they just, people always, and now that's in your psyche. Now that's swirling around in your brain. It's not your thought. That's not your thought. You didn't think that thought. You didn't even want that thought. You didn't even consent to that thought. But the thought is now in your mind. And it can start disrupting the other thoughts. Because it'd be like, oh yeah, because that reminded me of what I seen earlier. And yeah, and now it's doubled down. And now it is your own thought because you've allowed it credence. It's created a function within your reality that has given it anchor. And now you're like, oh no, that is true. Oh yeah, no, that is true. That is true that bitches ain't shit. That is true that these niggas always be doing the most. Oh yeah, that is true. Yeah, that's so true. Like, no, not. You don't even feel that way. That's not even your lived experience. That's somebody else from the streets, up the streets lived experience. And their lived experience is a byproduct of them making excessively poor choices. But they want to act like it's just happenstance, and now you're internalizing that. Man, cleanse your chakras, bro. Like, cleanse your chakras, bro. Got sexually transmitted demons and stuff, other people's sexual trauma all up in your sacral chakra. You do a spiritual bath. Got people all in your heart chakra who you used to love, who never did nothing to you, but you promised to love them forever. Man, if you don't cut that cord, if you don't get free from the things attempting to tie and bind you to a lower vibrational frequency in a reality that tells you that you don't deserve, if you don't shake that load off, listen. Shout out to crystals. One of my favorite. I was a rock collecting kid. Shout out to all the rock collecting kids. If your kid picks up rocks, hone that shit, because certain rocks have good energy. And I bet you if we started cracking open a lot of these rocks that these kids, I bet you there's probably geodes inside. Because that's the thing, like a rock can seem just plain on the outside. You crack it open, geode inside. Ooh. When you crack you open, what's your true power? When you crack you open, what are you truly made of? That's what really counts. So shout out to crystals. An excellent way to also release blockages. I'm sorry that I didn't even mention you guys. Oh, shout out to the black crystals. And all crystals in general, but specifically the black crystals and the darker crystals all have protection and negative energy absorbing qualities. Now, all of them are created equal, but you have an individual frequency. So different ones will resonate for you. I know that I have a few that I personally like to work with, given my combination of energies. I know some people who swear by onyx. I know some people who swear by hematite. I know some people who swear by I'm sorry, I just received a call. I'm trying to link up with a friend. There's a lot of things happening. So, and my phone is also dying. So, but yes, do a little bit of research on crystals. They can be excellent ways to also to make the most of power. Crystals are excellent for amplifying power, and you know because they use it in all of your computer devices. So this isn't me being like, oh yeah, rocks can do magic. They put it in the freaking computers and stuff because it amplifies the I'm sorry. I overloaded the computer, Lord. That's my fault. I don't even know my own power. That's my fault. My fault indeed. All right, I'm gonna just take this as the bottom of the deck because for some reason when I pick up a deck, I never look at the bottom of the deck. But something was just like, oh, look at the bottom. And also, I don't have time to shuffle and do a full read for this, so we're just gonna quickly, Diana, be one with nature. Wasn't we just talking about how nature is the original healer and how all of the things that I am talking about for you to utilize in your healing practice? Let's talk about how nature can help you heal and remove blockages. Let's talk about how indigenous plant medicines have been used for thousands of years to help people cope and deal with trauma. Let's talk about how sea moss can help clear your sinuses, or black seed oil can help clear your sinuses. Let's talk about how chamomile tea can release emotional blockages that you have and can help ease stress and tension. Let's talk about being one with nature and how that allows us to really tap in and have access to all of the things that we truly need and all of the things that truly serve us. People be vitamin D deficient. If you don't go and get some sun, bro, all this artificial light. I've been seeing posters like, oh man, not even, oh man, I'm gonna change the tone. I've been seeing posters like, dang, I went and got some sunlight and felt 10 times better. I have the capacity of a daisy. Like, no, you just are made from this earth. Us spending this amount of time inside is a new, not normal thing. And even when we used to spend time in enclosed spaces, they were tended to be open air. They tended to not be sealed, hermetically sealed, artificial environments. It's not a terrarium. You're not a freaking snake. Do you understand that even those things aren't happy in those cages? Like, you need real nature. Go and sit in the ocean and let the salt water, first off, not only will the salt water release blockages in terms of lactic acid that's been built up in your muscles and get that flowing and allow your muscles to relax, but it'll also cleanse you on a soul and energetic level if you allow it to. Why do people like going to the beach so much? Why is that like, with a vacation, number one vacation, why do people want to go to the beach? Because sun and vitamin D and salt water. Because when you sit in your little terrarium, in your fish tank, you sit in your hamster cage on your rat race, you be like, oh man, I need something that's just going to help me relax and feel like everything's okay. And then you go and sit at the beach and you just be like, why do I care so much about dumb shit? And then you be happy, and then you got to go back to fake ass reality in this artificial square ass right angle ass system. Be one with nature. Go get you some nature. Go ground. Go ground. Go watch a fire pit. Go watch some insects. Go sit and listen to some birds. Dog, I fed some ants the other day, and the process of watching them and how they all come together and work together to clear the food and take the nourishment and maximize it, and they distribute it equally, and nobody's sitting there fighting over resources. Is such a beautiful microcosm. So nature is always trying to communicate to us about how things could be, how things should be. It's just that we humans think we know better. We think that we are too smart for nature. Like that is what this reality has brought and has wrought. It has brought and wrought this superiority complex. Like you're greater than all of the things that sustain you, bruh. Albert Einstein, and this is Albert Einstein, you know, said that if bees died, like humans wouldn't last for like 4 more years, and yet the bees are dying, and everybody's just like on their phones, in their houses, like they don't need plants to survive. Are you gonna go and hand pollinate every freaking crop so it's enough to feed humanity? Like, go be one with nature. Go be one with nature. Go make peace with mama. The one who feeds us and sustains us and gives us an atmosphere so that solar freaking gamma rays don't just decimate you. And the one who gives us seasons. Shout out to the Most High. And on that note, I'm going to go because I got my friend waiting outside. And it's been about an hour. It's been a good 55. And I love you all. And I'm doing a little bit too much. But I'm so grateful for everyone who tuned in. Shout out to the people I know and also the strangers who tuned in. I hope that this resonated with you. I hope that it was soul food. Imah X, aka the Oracle of Illadelphi, signing off, signing out. Tune in and tune up. I love y'all. I really do. I really do. I do. Ooh.